longer here. I trust everybody's doing well. It is a live intro. Alright, well, I suppose it's time to actually start. Let's turn this off. And I'll start up a unique BGM that I recorded just a little while ago. Well, I say that, but the reality is I've had it for some time. I just didn't really use it. So, once I put this down, there we are. Watching like 30 minutes a day. Hello, everybody. It's nice to see the regulars here. Today is a little bit different. Let me move this guy, because today the drink choice is hot chocolate. I'm not sure what the season is like for everybody else involved, but it just started snowing as of last night, so it's starting to get a little chilly, which is just perfect for me. It gets very, very hot around here. Is the ultra low latency working? I do hope so. Today, however, is a little different from all the other days. And as such, I wanted to take a little bit of time to sort of discuss a few things. Nobody's in trouble or anything like that, or at least I would hope so. But Therapy Thursday is a bit of a tradition, as the guitar almost falls. Here we go. That I somewhat adapted from a few different places and a few different experiences of my own. So I'd like to take this stream and future streams like it a little more seriously than usual. I mean, it's not like making jokes or saying otherwise questionable things is forbidden, but more or less the idea of a therapeutic talk is something that I do actually want to do, and I have a few reasons to do so. I hope, it is my desire that this practice will not only become somewhat of a mainstay on my channel, but will be something that other VTubers or streamers choose to do for themselves. To that extent, I suppose I'll give a bit of background as to where this came from and why I intend to do this. Well, a long time ago, in a past life, I attended a academy of sorts, and at the end of every learning week, which was a little different from standard weeks, we would all gather in the center of the room, which I need to give a little bit more context. The room that we did this in, which for the record, the course was a theater arts course. But the room that we did all of this in did not have any chairs or desks. In fact, the whole room just had carpets across a tile floor. And the instructor was very particular about this, and we all thought it was kind of weird. I vividly recall on the first day of the academy, we all were randomly assigned a carpet, and that's where you sat along with everybody else who was assigned to that carpet, with the only exception being the end of the week get-together. And at first, things were a little strange. A lot of us didn't really know each other. People who were in cliques more or less stayed in those cliques. They just found clever ways to communicate if they weren't already on the same carpet. But over time, because I was in this course for 3 years, over time, the people in your carpet were inevitably individuals that you would just come to know, and you would more or less make friends with them, even if it wasn't your intention. And it gave a lot of perspective, because there were a ton of times where if the instructor was focusing on one group or another, you were just kind of there with the people on your carpet, and so, you just start talking. But at the end of every learning week, we would all get together and sit in a circle on the floor. And we had to sit on the floor without any carpets, because the instructor, and I quote, low latency puck, yeah. The instructor also, is the BGM loud or too quiet? I recorded it. Oh, it's not playing at all. Okay, that would do it. Let me go find it. Why is it not playing? There it is. Slightly loud, I see. Okay. For some reason, the audio mixer on this song wasn't showing, so I couldn't actually see how loud it was. Where was I? Oh yeah. So we all sat together in a circle, and you were required to say something nice about something that you were thankful for regarding another person in the circle. You were required. Not being able to think of something was not an excuse. And sure, the first couple weeks were kind of weird. But, close to the end of the year, and especially in your second year or third year, the things that people would say are really pretty surprising. And it was my first experience of an individual saying something or some things about me that I would have never considered otherwise. And they called it tribe. And I always found it kind of interesting that I had never experienced something like that before. Well, as fortune may have it, the next academy that I would graduate to did the exact same thing, just in a far more permanent manner. I was at that academy for 4 years, and they called their version of tribe family, and rather than it being a once-a-week thing, you did this every day. And once again, it was a classroom, despite it being a completely different academy, with completely different instructors and completely different sets of students. They did the exact same thing with more or less the same idea. And you were randomly assigned a family, with the exception that if you went to the same academy with someone that you knew, you were not in the same family as them. They specifically pointed you away from anybody that you knew. and it was a whole course dedicated just to hanging out with seemingly random people. And my particular family was, well, I call them a bunch of weirdos, but I'm sure the whole school was filled with them. But it really gave a sense of community. And that sense of community is something that I wanted to bring here. Because I wholeheartedly believe that the idea of turning to a public place with otherwise private issues is something that everybody should have the option to do. Now, it's not like I'm going to require anybody to come up and tell their life story. However, the option is available. I am watching over my curious cat and Marshmallow in the event that you wanted to send something privately or anonymously, which is fine. Or, since the low latency appears to be working, I would be a-okay to read things out in chat and sort of talk about them. So, with that said, I suppose I will start. This past week, hold on a second. There it is. This past week has been something, to be sure. Make no mistake, I am eternally grateful. Actually, that's not even the right set of words. I am elated beyond what I could easily say that everything went not just the way I wanted to, but I essentially exceeded my own expectations. Sure, there were a few issues, but you know, having a turnout of nearly 30 people at one point was far and above what I ever intended. And of course, I'm super happy about it, but the rest of my existence has not exactly been easy. I feel like last night in particular, I laid awake staring at the indefinite void that is my ceiling while the lights were off. And I remember sitting there thinking, I can't sleep. Not because I had trouble sleeping. I could not let myself sleep. Just earlier that day, or well, last night, I guess, I was in D&D with some friends of whom I hadn't really had the chance to speak to leading up to the debut because, well, I was busy. And so we were talking after the session, and it was a pretty good time. And I said, hey, I'm gonna get ready for bed because I have work tomorrow morning and I need to get ready for another stream. And one of my buddies there, he said something. He said, all right, I'll see you later. And by the way, don't kill yourself. And that was basically the last thing they said, which I get what their intention was. But as I was laying in bed that night, it occurred to me that this is hard. Maybe that's kind of an obvious statement, but it hadn't crossed my mind before yesterday that no matter which way I choose to go, something is going to be sacrificed. Like somebody's time is going to be sacrificed. I can choose, for example, to hang out on Twitter or my Discord or what have you, and chat with pretty much everybody that's here now, plus or minus a few more, or I can chat with people who I've known in another life for a very, very long time. Now, all of those people are well aware that I need to make this choice, and I'm sure everybody here also understands that. And while I don't think anybody would blame me for choosing one or the other, I can't help but think I have to choose one. I can't take the best of both worlds. Now, theoretically, I could quit my day job and then have the best of both worlds, except I wouldn't have any money after that, and that would be a problem. Now, this isn't the cue to go hunt down my donation link and start throwing money at me, but even if streaming did financially support me, I would still need to make a commitment to one or the other. And as I sat there laying awake, I thought maybe I'm not cut out for this. Maybe I should just quit while I'm ahead. I had a good debut. It wouldn't be long to write out a twit longer that essentially explains, I'm not really in a good spot right now. And while things are more or less comfortable, until I can guarantee a steadier income, maybe I should just back out. And I thought, I can't go to sleep with something like that on my mind, because I would be so concerned that I would wake up and do it. And I laid in bed like this for maybe 4 hours, just staring into the void. Fortunately, I mean, as you can see, we're here now, so I mean, it's not like something like that actually happened, but I definitely thought about it. And another thing that happens pretty commonly is that I'll have this dream where I wake up, I'm in my bed and I roll out of bed, I check my schedule and, oh wow, cool, I have the day off. And I'll sit down in the studio and realize that this whole streaming thing just never happened. It would be my day-to-day life just without streaming or being a VTuber, which, God, it's like one of those dreams that are so real, even though you somewhat know that it's not, it just feels like it is. And it makes me think that like one day I'm just going to wake up and then everything that's happened so far just was a dream. Like the life I'm living right now isn't real. Hopefully that's not true. Otherwise, this is the trippiest lucid dream I've ever had, and also the most stressful one I've ever had. But nonetheless, here we are. Okay. Delicious. I really like hot chocolate. Oh man. So that's been my existence for the last little while. It's very easy for me to freak out and stress out about a lot of things. I have a bit of a perfectionist complex, which I feel like is in equal parts a good thing and a bad thing. I I want to motivate myself to do as best as I possibly can without getting complacent, because I've found with very personal experience that being complacent about things often leads to you just accepting the idea that, oh, well, I'll never be able to do this, so why bother? And that kind of attitude gets you less than nowhere. It actually moves you backwards. It's unfortunate that I had to be as old as I am to figure that out, but, it happens. And the downside, of course, is that when things happen, when a stream gets scuffed or when I forget to do a thumbnail or the latency is too high and I don't understand why, it's frustrating and it makes me want to gouge my freaking eyeballs out, because it's like, man, I should be better than this. I've spent, what, God, it's November now, right? Yeah. 11 months. No, almost 13 months I've been working on getting this right. You would think that somebody with that much time would have figured this out by now, but it takes all kinds. Uh, so that stuff like really bothers me, and I'm sure every content creator says this, and everybody who's watched a lot of content creators has heard this 1.5 million times, but I read every single comment. Um, I didn't even get my wifey Wednesday, and Burb is trying to leave me. Listen, even somebody who lives forever has anxieties because our time together is temporary. Uh, Even if all of us were immortal, the time that we have here and now only exists once, and I definitely want to enjoy it while it's here. Not like, it has anything to do with you, idiot. I couldn't resist. No, please look forward to Waifu Wednesday, soon TM. But honestly, I feel like the winter is just an extremely introspective time because I get pretty common mood swings when the sun isn't out, which is pretty straightforward logic. I'm a being of flaming mythological energy, and when the source of all life, of which and to whom I am quite personally connected, isn't visible, I mean, you get a little cranky here and there. Mm. And so I often use this time to sort of reflect on life itself, which is pretty convenient because the snow, I don't know what it is about snowfall, but something about watching snow gather on the ground when it's like pure and white really just makes me think about things, just really anything. That could just be me, but it is what it is. Otherwise, I mean, please feel free to use this. It feels like a blank sheet of paper. Yeah. Uh, I don't quite interpret snow as a means of starting anew. I know that's a very common way to look at it, especially with the idea of blank sheets of paper and so on. But I often feel like the snow is somewhat of an indication of I guess, a reflection, like a mirror. Return vest. I very much vibe with the snow thing, though I enjoy rain, and yes, I also enjoy the sound of rain. I think watching is less fun. Oh, uh, the place where I work has a lot of windows. Um, and because I work early in the morning, usually by the time the sun rises, I basically don't have much to do other than watch the snowfall. I work at a local restaurant in town, and I basically help make sure that everything is working as intended, and that the next person who comes in has the things that they need. I often have to come in quite early because we sell a lot of bread, and bread, when made or when prepared properly, can take an upwards of 3 hours with all of our machines, for every 30 loaves. So if I need to make 250 loaves of bread, I I'm there at the store quite early, because all of them or most of them need to be made before the store opens. Breadbird Pog. Yeah, I mean, the thing about being able to control and contort flames to your will is that you're pretty useful when baking and cooking. Mm. So a lot of the times what happens is that I'll power the machine. Pog on the face delay. Yes, I'm very happy that I'm very pleased. Uh, Baker Burb. Yeah, well, I don't really do a lot of home cooking because I do it, as a day job. And so by the time I get home, my first thought is, man, I can go for some pizza. uh, but yeah, I mean, I have actually a pretty amusing amount of experience with bread in particular. I once volunteered at a reenactment center, in a past life where all of us had to reenact basically countryside settlers in this world's 1800s. And so part of that was taking a clay bread oven and actually making cornbread from cornmeal. And man, that was an all-day affair. Seriously, it took close to about 12 to 13 hours of rotating and kneading and mushing and adding, and so much time. But yeah, I deal with a lot of bread, and I do like eating bread, so I mean, it works out. But yeah, as for at home, I mean, it's way more convenient to, be playing something like Genshin Impact and be like, hey, I can get pizza. Why would I ever, why would I ever spend time, effort, and a little bit of money to make something nice when I could just pay somebody a lot more money to do it for me? Mm. This hot chocolate is super good. Pizza is just flavored bread, so it's fine. Pizza MVP, agreed. Big agree. Oh man, I was about to say something else. Oh, I kind of forgot. Let's see. Okay. So, oh yeah. One of my favorite feelings in the whole world, like nothing makes me feel more comfortable than being warm in the cold. A lot of people talk about how nice it is when it's like really hot outside to have like a cool breeze. Honestly, I hard disagree. Hard disagree. I mean, it's okay, but really nothing feels better than to like wrap yourself in a ton of blankets and have again a mug of hot chocolate in front of a fire, listening to some smooth jazz or whatever it is you vibe with to calm down and just relax. Warm on a cold, yes, absolutely. Everybody here has the correct opinion. Uh, Jazz with blankets and a fire is amazing. Yeah, absolutely. So now all I need to do is convert you to the cleric side, and then we'll be set. But that's me right now. I'm wearing my double bathrobe, with a huge blanket on top of me. You can't see it, but maybe I should get an irastoya of like a blanket. I don't know. I'll look for one later. But more or less, the whole point of the enjoy laying on a blanket outside on that is disgusting. I sweat super easily, which should come as no surprise as I am a living being of flame. I have a very, very high body heat. And so if it's warmer than, oh, I guess, like, what would it be? 30 degrees. That's like, 65 for Americans. If it's any higher than that, I will start to sweat. Like, absolutely. I keep my room at a temperature of 55 in American temperature, which I think is like 20 something for everybody else. Because I'm just not comfortable otherwise. Yep, 55. I get warm super easily. Now, granted, I also live in the house's basement. So I'm surrounded. How much money? So actually, it's colder than that naturally. As I just stated, I live in the house's basement, and it gets very cold because I am not only under the ground, but there is no carpet. And all of the walls are made of like plastic or wood, and there's very little ceiling tile. So there's a lot of exposed pipes and such. So it's pretty naturally cold down here. But yeah, I keep my room at about 55. Sounds like somebody just got home. Comfy Ootori. Yeah, I'll work on that. 1 second. Okay. Yeah, I need to look into some emotes, but things to happen for another day. Kind of lost my train of thought. Oh yeah. So these streams are more or less meant to be like a free chat, just with a far more relaxed atmosphere. Tomorrow's stream is actually going to be a free chat, though I do have like things for us to talk about more than, you know, people's problems or whatever. I just really wanted to give an outlet for something like this to happen. I didn't necessarily expect anybody to like actually show up. What's funny is I think there's more viewers now than there have been on even the D&D stream, which I'm totally surprised about. Waifu Wars when? Soon. I need to confirm a few things over the weekend. And I make my schedule on Sundays. I will never stream on the weekend unless it's like a special collab event. But more or less, you can expect me to sort of swap off on different things. So like I might not do a Music Monday next week. I might do a Tabletop Tuesday. I'm thinking I'll do Tabletop Tuesday, Waifu Wednesday, and then maybe we'll do another one of these, or I can do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, because I want to stream 4 days a week, every week. That's what I'm putting myself at. And I'll sort of get. You know what? I just remembered, in my debut, the only wife is going to be Admiral Hipper. Listen. I like me some Admiral Hipper. She's just, she hits all the right spots. Sometimes literally. But German heavy cruisers have this problem of being obnoxiously complicated, which is why they all got sunk. Except for Prinz Eugen, but Eugen was just lucky. They are not feats of German engineering. They're more like jokes. So we send you waifus. I don't remember. For the first one, I actually have a waifu already picked up. She's my number 1, and I don't think anybody here remembers who that is. I'll give you a hint. Wim might remember. But bet it's Shinobu. No. Nope. I spoke about them with what was his name? Otaku one, back in the Weihasu server. It's not Wim. Wim is not nearly tsundere enough. Nor is he dumb enough. But no, if you guys remember Oda 1, there were 2 characters that I spurlorded about. Don't underestimate my smooth brain. I mean, that's fair, but you don't have twin tails, and you don't show off any absolute territory. So honestly, you're pretty low on the list, Chief. I'm sorry. Though the Among Us play was pretty hot. You know, I was not gonna say I was sweating, but I was sweating. We can fix that. I swear to God, I'm gonna log on to Twitter one of these days, and I'm gonna see a drawing, clinical, yeah. No, I'm gonna see a drawing from Coco or something of a Wim in a mini skirt and thigh highs. Looking for favorite waifu in Discord search bar. You're gonna be there a while. We have the technology. Okay, I mean, there were two characters, so I mean, even if you bother Oda one, there's gonna be a 50-50 shot that you're wrong. Though the other character I was talking about is what is she? Number 2 or 3, somewhere around there. Um, so I mean, you won't be too far off on the mark either way. I guess I'll go ahead and say that she's a character from a visual novel, which should answer a lot of things. By the way, I wanted to. I didn't really want to announce it on a therapy Thursday, but I guess now's as good of time as any. I will be doing a playthrough of my favorite visual novel of all time, soon TM. It'll probably be over a Waifu Wednesday when we do these playthroughs, because, well, it's an anime game. Saya no Uta? No. I've actually never played Saya no Uta. And one that I want to play, though. Katawa Shoujo. Oh, I can't do Katawa Shoujo. I want to. I really want to play Katawa Shoujo. The problem is I can't deal with burn victims. I've told this story before, but when I was a lot younger, I burned myself extremely bad on my hands. And honestly, it's a little ironic considering that I'm a bird of indefinite flame and like a fragment of the freaking sun, but I'm horrified of fire. I'm absolutely terrified. So I oh god, Coco was watching. Oh, all right, let's go, boys. I'm gonna look at Twitter right now. Okay, never mind. I was gonna wait for Coco to tag me in something. Okay. No, but I can't play Katawa Shoujo because the route that I would want to go for is the one that I can't do. I real sensitive to stuff like that. So Katawa Shoujo would have to be something way later down the line. That stuff really just bothers me immensely. I just got a soldering iron. No, what happened to me was I was helping someone at a barbecue, and I had the plate ready to grab like the burgers off the grill. And as I approached the grill, I I walk pigeon-toed, which means that my feet are like the tips of my feet are pointed inwards. So I sort of step over each foot whenever I walk. And at this time I was quite a bit younger, and so my left foot hit the back of the right foot and I fell towards the grill, and reflexively I dropped the plate and grabbed the, like, what do they call it, griddle? I grabbed the bars. And man, it hurt. To put it simply, it hurt a lot. A very lot. A lot. Yeah. I had huge streaks of like my hand was like, Tony the freaking Tiger. Cause I, whenever you grab something, your hands curl. And so the underside of my fingers, my palms, my wrists, almost all the way down to my elbow, because I fell flat forward, had these huge black streaks. And it would take me years to oh god, I'm gonna say this and I'm sure a bunch of people are gonna cringe, but I essentially scratched the wounds out by forcing the skin to constantly regrow because I didn't want it to scar over. Yeah. How old was I? I was old enough to be in, I guess, secondary school is what most people would call it, or middle school. Yeah. And so not long after the accident, you know, I lived in the South, and so it was common for us to wear short sleeves. But I would get bullied so hard by a lot of people. You know, people would be like, "Hey, it's the Tiger Boy," because my arms were like orange from being burnt, and they had black stripes on them. And so I really didn't want that to happen anymore. So every day I took a super hot shower, and I would take, one of those what it's like one of those cloths, or like scraps of cloth that you use to scrub out dishes, and they have like iron wires in them. You wouldn't think being called a tiger would be bad. Well, yeah, you would think that. Um, but I don't know. At the time, I was very, very, very. I'm still kind of like this. I get really funny about my appearance. It's why I'm a VTuber instead of being a streamer. I really, really get nervous and really flustered when people comment on my appearance, and so to basically be ostracized for something that I felt like I couldn't control, like, drove me nuts. And so I yeah, every day in the shower, I would scratch at the skin until, enough of it peeled or fell off for it to regrow. And now, nowadays, you can't see it. I mean, I know where they are. I can see them, but the indents are so pale, like, that they match with the rest of my skin. You would basically have to get a magnifying glass and like actually investigate my arms to figure out where they are now. Why wash plates when you can use the spiky sponge and take off your skin? Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, in at that time, I was very, very concerned with my outward appearance. Everyone, or well, I say everyone, but from my perspective, everyone had this expectation that I was like the. I pulled off the scar tissue, yeah. Um, and I continued to do that with other wounds. If you were to see my hands, the tops of them, like especially near my fingernails, there's a bunch of scars from other injuries that I would just wasn't able to wash off, or I say wash off. I wasn't able to pull off because it's so close to the tip of my finger. It hurt too bad, and so now, like, I don't know. It bothers me a lot, but these days it's not like people, grab my hands and be like, "Let me see them." Jesus, this guy's actually an anime character. No, I mean, I was like psychotically obsessed with this idea that people had to find me, like, not necessarily attractive, but I had to look normal. Whatever my concept of normal was at that time, I had to look it. Um, and if I couldn't match my own head's description, uh, that's not what you meant. I'm gonna need to make more of this soon. Ouch. I don't get what you mean. I don't know how to describe this in text form. Okay, well, I suppose I'll keep talking in the meantime. But where was I? Oh yeah, I mean, it's not like people take my hands and like actually investigate them, but it's kind of funny. Well, haha, funny. Uh, that whenever I'm at work and other people are around me, like assistants or whatnot, whenever I go to pull something out of the oven, I mean, we have these huge mitts to prevent yourself from getting burned, but because the oven is so huge, like, I mean, I, I don't really mean to put it this way, but it would not be hard to put a person in this oven. It's about the size of, oh, no BGM, it's not looping. Why? Hold on. Let me go investigate this. because I think I forgot to tell it to loop. Oh, I did. There we go. Thank you, October. I would have gone the whole stream talking about gruesome injuries without any BGM. Well, I want this BGM to play because, like I said, I recorded it shortly before the stream. I had everything set for another BGM, but I turned to the keyboard and I was like, you know, I want to play something else. So all of this, I actually wanted to play it live, but playing the piano live would mean that my model couldn't move. So I decided I would just record it. Thank you for complimenting my voice. I have a few pretty funny stories about that. But no, anyway, so at work, we have 2 oven-like things. I guess we really have 6, but one of them is specifically for, or 2 of them are specifically for bread. The biggest one is about like 1 meter and a little bit tall. It's about 4.5 feet off the ground. It's pretty large, and it doesn't get that hot, but the one right above it, it was me, but I'm not gonna tell that story on stream. I mean, it could be Jams. I don't know. It could also be Jams, but I definitely have told that story before. So all you ladies in the chat, beware. I mean, I'm saying, it happens. It happens. Oh yeah. So anyway, the oven on top of the large one though is more or less like a standard stove. Is your cafe a bakery? It's more, well, I don't want to describe it too much. It is a chain restaurant, but because our town is so small, it's locally owned. And so we are allowed to do things very differently than the other chains around the nation. Like I meet with actually the owner of the building, and the quote-unquote local CEO actually stopped by this morning to buy me coffee and and some Starbursts, because I came in an hour earlier than usual this morning, and he happened to be there shoveling out snow. We were like, hey, you want some coffee? Yeah, I love coffee. But no, whenever my yeah, he's a pretty cool guy. It's sort of funny. He's a former car salesman, and so he kind of has that very excitable atmosphere about him. I don't know why I keep looking towards the chat. Hold on a second. I think something's up with my eyes. There we go. Okay, close enough. Yeah, so he has that like, hey man, how's it going? Kind of vibe, even though he's sort of an older dude. But yeah, he's a great guy. And that's kind of most of the reason why I work there. They don't pay very well, but all the people are super nice. But yeah, the stove on top of the large oven heats up to about 475 degrees Fahrenheit. So we can like get the risen bread baked to be sold, which is super hot. And whenever you open it to get bread or cookies out of the oven, it basically blasts you with heat. And man, every single time, I've worked there for 5 years, every single time I feel that heat wash over my face, I have to like breathe, you know? I have to take a deep breath and like pull everything out, because obviously I don't want anything to burn, and that includes myself. And again, we have these huge mittens, but like all of my underlings always comment, like every time I have to work with somebody new, they're always like, Kagerou, whenever you open the oven, you just stand there like you're amazed. And I'm like, it's a long story. And then we also have smaller ovens that get to a similar temperature. If somebody wants their like sandwich or soup heated up, you know, we stick them in these things and it heats up. But every time I open those, I use the big safety pan, and it's this baby can fit so many big ovens inside. Yeah, we have a lot of ovens. I mean, somewhat unsurprisingly, it gets extremely cold up here. Last winter, we dropped down to negative 18 Fahrenheit, which I think is negative 40 centigrade, something like that. Doing conversions in my head is hard, but it gets very cold, which isn't as cold as it could be, granted, but for the vast majority of the United States, yeah, it's pretty cold. So we have a lot of ovens. People like hot things, well, up here. I was gonna say something. Oh yeah, I was gonna what was I talking about? Yeah, I'm gonna play through a visual novel on stream for Waifu Wednesdays. Not this coming week, maybe not the one after either, but maybe the one after that, probably starting in December. Actually, no, I have things that I want to do for Christmas. Kurishi. I think what I'll do, maybe I'll do it at the start of the new year. That'd actually be kind of interesting. It's a very long game. I think an average playthrough clocks 60 hours from start to finish, because there's, let's see, there's the common route, there's the 6 basic routes, and then the 3 special ones, plus 1/2 for a unique ending. Each route takes like 6 to 8 hours. Yeah, it's something like 60-70 hours of a playthrough. But it is a game that changed my life. Actually, this is an appropriate stream to tell that story. Let me kind of sit up a little bit from my comfy blanket monster position. I also am am I gonna 100% it? You can't complete the game without 100%ing it. Actually, that's not true. You can 90% it, but without giving spoilers away, you can't complete the game unless you do all of the routes. You don't necessarily need to do them in a specific order, but the final 4 routes do occur in a specific order, and you can get an alternate ending for one route if you beat the entire game and then play it one more time. It's a pretty comprehensive game. I'll go ahead and say that the people who made this visual novel are the same minds behind Clanad, Canon, Air, Planetarian, Angel Beats. What else? Yeah, those are the big ones. So you can safely imagine that some stuff happens in it, and it's very sad. Oh god. Yeah, but I do intend to play it on stream, hopefully with permission, but we'll see. Actually, really, I just hope I don't get like a cease. Play the Toradora VN that lets you date your own mom. I like Toradora. I really do. I thought it was a great series. It's not my favorite. You know, I'm a big fan of Tsundere. I don't think Taiga is a very good one. I think Taiga is actually my least favorite character in that whole show. Like, actually. And it's not that she's bad. I just think compared to the rest of the cast, she doesn't compare. Teacher is the best. No, that's just incorrect. Ami Ami is the best girl in Toradora. Inari is also a precious child that like must be protected. I am basically out of hot chocolate. My favorite part about hot chocolate, by the way, is the very end, because all the chocolate that didn't get mixed in is like a fudge sludge. It's delicious. Hell yeah. Okay. But yeah, that's kind of the plan, more or less. I know that the thing about this visual novel that's going to give me the most is one of my favorite songs of all time is a reprise of one of the basic themes from the game. And for those who aren't musically inclined, a reprise is basically a variation on a song on like the largest scale possible. And this is very common for anime, games, and movies and shows to do. Oftentimes they'll play a song, usually at the beginning or something, and then during a tense moment or maybe like a big climactic moment, they'll play the song again, but it's different. Like for a lot of anime, it's usually the opening theme that they play either in like a solo piano instead of like the whole band or whatever. I'm sure anybody can think of like a good example, but this one in particular is the ending theme to an anime adaptation of the game, which, by the way, the anime adaptation is like, okay, it's really good if you've actually played the visual novel, but if you haven't, I feel like it's pretty mediocre, because a lot of what the anime accomplishes basically requires you to have knowledge of what happens in the visual novel, because, well, God, this is really hard to talk about, because there is a very basic concept for the visual novel that is a huge spoiler. It's basically the whole point of this story. And if you know what it is, then you'll basically figure out what the game is about within like the first 10 seconds. But the game very purposefully portrays itself in a way that it doesn't quite reveal what's going on until near the end. And the anime does the same thing, but it does so in a different way, because the way that the two mediums are different prevent the anime from actually just copying the visual novel. So I don't really want to talk about it all that much, because it would be a huge shame if it got spoiled. But it's pretty nuts. But anyway, during the common route, there's a song that plays called "Waking Up in the Morning." And it's, you know, it's a pretty basic instrumental song. It sounds like every other song in an instrument, in a visual novel. And you know what I'm talking about. There's like the acoustic guitar, there's a piano, sometimes there's strings. You know, it's very, very generic. But the reprise adds instruments and sounds from every route of the game, and they put it to lyrics. And man, oh God, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. It is absolutely going to be a song that we talk about on Music Monday, but it's going to have to be one that we do after we play the visual novel, because it is so incredible. Oh, dude, what's up, Coco? I definitely didn't say a bunch of cursed things that would be relevant to your interests and or talents earlier in the stream. That would be crazy. Okay, well, we're otherwise chilling. Man, we are an hour in. What? Yeah, don't worry about it, dude. Oh, he knows. No. Alright, well, I didn't really have a plan for how long the stream was going to last. But I think we might wrap it up here unless anybody wants to just talk about something else. The longest I could possibly go is another hour, but let me just check this guy right here. I really hate image captchas because it's like, please choose everything that includes a duck. And they'll show like a bunch of yellow chickens or something, and it's like, come on, man. Don't do me like this. Nope. Okay. Alright, well, yeah, I have no questions, it looks like, or no comments. So I guess we might wrap it up here pretty soon. So the song that I was playing at the beginning on the guitar for the live intro, which I don't think I'm going to do all the time, that is an original song that I wrote years ago. Yes, it's totally original. Like, actually, not, no BS. And I think I might do an updated cover of it one day. Now that I actually have the instruments to play it in the manner that I imagined it originally. But I think we'll just kind of chill for a few minutes. I'll grab the guitar again and we can play it. Come here. There we go. There's you, and then there's... I've complained about it before, but the worst part about having like extremely limited space is that while everything is indeed in reach, ouch. While everything is in reach, cut this BGM. It has the issue of being too close to everything else that is also in reach. And so it creates this kind of conglomerate. Anyway, I'll sort of just read and comment over chat while I play this. Oops. You know, when I said I would monitor chat, I kind of expected people to be, you know, chatting, but I guess not. We're just chilling. I guess that's fair. I already decided my topics for next week. No. Like I said, I need to confirm a few things on Saturday, and then I'll make the schedule on Sunday. chronic lurker. Oh, Coco, no. Not like this. Oops. What's up, DJ? We're basically almost done for today, but we're just kind of chilling. Is this a sad tune or a happy? Well, that's up to you. Obviously, I'm avoiding the lyrics, but I guess knowing what the lyrics are, you could interpret it either way. It's kind of bittersweet, like a lot of music that people put out. It's somewhat of a love song, though it's less about loving someone and more about remembering a time when you loved somebody. Nostalgic, yeah, you could also describe it that way. I mean, it's meant to create the atmosphere of, you know, maybe you're cleaning up or something, and then you happen upon like an object or a photograph, and you're just like, damn, I remember that. Though, without being Nickelback and getting memed on of, look at this graph. Every time I see it makes me laugh. Every time I see it makes me laugh. What else can we play? You read my... I knew, I absolutely knew somebody was going to bring that up. Well, I mean, I have the guitar out, and I kind of want to keep doing stuff with it, but I don't really know what else I can play. I don't really like the idea of vibing. Heck yeah, dude. I don't really like the idea of playing something that I've already played, though I would guess for something like, you know, a lot of the songs that I played on the debut, I never played all of them. Pachi Pachi, thank you, thank you, thank you. Arigato, arigato. It's not like I want your applause or anything, Baku. But, I mean, yeah, for the debut songs, with the exception of As We Fall, I could play the full version of those songs. Though I don't really want to start recording with like a bunch of this equipment. You know, that's something that I could do for a Music Monday. Go through my whole recording process. It might be pretty fun, though it would take a long time. So I don't know, maybe. I don't actually know what I'm playing here. Um, the one I always default to is Setting Sail Coming Home. But I feel like I play that Bird Bright Songs live. Yeah, I wouldn't call it songwriting. I'm actually very bad about coming up with original stuff. The one that I played earlier, the original, it's one of two original songs I've written in 15 years. So I wouldn't really call it a great track record. Uh, so I wouldn't. Yeah. I again, I'm very much trained to take other people's music and more or less translate it for the crowd. Uh, so I'll probably pick a song that I want to cover, and then we'll go from there. Which I have a few ideas, but we'll have to see. Let's, Aliens by Cringy. Nope. I put this out on Twitter, but I'm for somebody that does a lot of music. I don't actually know a lot of songs. Oh, give me a second. All right, what's that? Um, oh, if the guitar is a big deal in that song, I don't know if I'll be able to do it. The way that I play guitar is cheating. Um, is there a certain type of music that I prefer to others? That is a hard question to answer. I am the type of bird that is very who well, let's see. How would I say this? Uh okay. I guess it just depends on what kind of emotion I'm looking for. Like if ever I want to build up a lot of hype or something, or if I want to like get the adrenaline rushing, I listen to a lot of metal, like power metal. Usually like musically uninteresting songs that repeat a lot or don't have a lot of like really cool phrases, but something to just get the blood flowing. Sabaton is a great example. I love listening to Sabaton when I want to like deck somebody in the freaking face, uh, because their music is very heavy, I guess to say. Uh, it basically just gets the blood moving. If ever I just kind of want to reflect on things, I usually don't listen to any music. Actually, I spend a vast majority of my time in total silence, outside of my own thoughts, or sometimes I'll just play my own music, which is more or less just random chords, and or Bastion music. Um, but no, I don't really. I'm not super picky. It depends on what kind of mood I want. Uh, because I am very capable of basically absorbing the intended mood from a song, which it could be, part of my training as somebody whose job was to perform music, um, where it's basically an instinct to take songs and sort of translate them into a raw emotion. So I mean, it's pretty common that whenever I get stressed out, I'll listen to a song that like slaps, again like metal, and then when I kind of have vented, I'll listen to something totally different. Jazz, I don't listen to a lot of. I don't really like Russian hard bass. Definitely not that. I don't. I don't like a lot of electronic music. There are exceptions. Like I'm a big fan of Pendulum. Well, big fan in quotes. I like two of their songs. Um, yeah, a lot of electronic music doesn't really vibe well with me. Mostly because I really like to play music on instruments, and so if something is more or less like pre-recorded with a synthesizer, I tend to not like it as much. Orchestral, no, I don't really listen to any orchestral either. I have a few classical songs that I like, but honestly, if you were to name random like orchestral pieces, odds are I don't know what they sound like. Again, I don't listen to a lot of music. I know it's like super weird, but usually, like when I'm at home, if I'm like playing a game, I will listen to the game's BGM. Uh, Largely because I like to believe that the developer has intended moods that they want to give off for certain scenes, and I like to absorb that mood when playing the game for the added immersion. Uh, but otherwise, if I'm like working, like whenever I make thumbnails or stuff, or if I'm just like hanging out with people, I don't listen to any music. Because again, it's natural for me to like absorb a feeling. So, for example, if I'm like in a conversation and listening to like heavy metal, I might just be angrier in that conversation. So I spend a lot of time in total silence. Like right now, I'm not playing anything and there's no BGM. Even when I have BGM playing on the stream, which I guess I'll start it up again. Um, I don't actually listen to my own BGM. Mostly because I found that the way that I stream and capture things is counterintuitive to streaming. Because let me put this down. My desktop audio is what goes out to you guys. And so if I monitor the BGM, then you'll hear it twice. So, I don't listen to my own BGM. So like right now, you guys are probably, hopefully hearing something, but me, no, I'm in total silence, other than the sound of my own voice. So Alright, what are we at? An hour 20? Yeah, I suppose that's good enough. Okay, so I want to thank you all for coming out here, Therapy Thursday. I ended up talking a little bit more than I intended to, but I'm glad that I did, and I want to invite all of you to, feel free to just, either leave a comment, send me a DM over Twitter or Curious Cat or Marshmallow, or head into the therapy and venting chat in the Discord. And seriously, like, as long as you guys more or less keep with the right rules, it's it's there for a reason. And so I hope you guys will support each other as much as many of you have supported me. And with all that, we will call it. So, as per our usual, we will do a ending chat. Oh, before that, I have a cool announcement to potentially make. I am going to release a video soon, TM. And oh god, he's done it. I don't want this. Okay, but yes, I'm going to release a video soon, TM. and it is a challenge to other VTubers. I'm going to fight all of you in this challenge. So I hope that you will participate and share it with yet more VTubers, so on and so forth. You'll know when it comes out. There will be no ambiguity about it. So please look forward to it when we get there. All right. And with that announcement out of the way and Coco's apparent revelation, we will do our outro. So once again, we're going to Kagerou in unison. Se no Kagerou. This time with no latency. Kagerou. Yeah, let's go, boys. We did it. Nice, 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 nice. Pachi, pachi, pachi. All around. All right. I will now head off. I will probably be chilling out in the Discord or simping for, I don't know, one of the Twitch girls. So we'll see. Bye-bye. Wait, this is the wrong... there we go.